It's going to be fun. Dustin's with us. He's brought this Euro mount in, which is very cool. It's taking up the whole table here in front of us. This is the actual animal. It was just, hey, come help us with this hunt.
Sure.
Because you're used to hunting elk. And that was a youth hunter you were helping.
That's correct. I'm just so proud of Abby. She gets it done. Wyatt calls the bull in from about 40 yards behind us. The bull walks out, gives her about a 75, 80 yard shot. One shot. Abby does phenomenal. Bull goes down.
Awesome.
And then the work starts, though.
The work starts.
It was a great experience to have this quality of elk in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just a phenomenal experience to be right in our backyard.
And the odds are great.
Around 90% of the tag holders harvested the bulls in Tennessee. That's way better odds than what you'll see out in the Western Mountains.
Don't sleep on this, folks. It's time to apply.
Yeah, so the deadline is the 28th. Get your name in the hat, February 28th.
Because this is probably a once-in-a-lifetime deal here in Tennessee, and you want to have the best opportunity.
19 permits this year, 19 opportunities, 1 youth tag. So, yeah, get your name in the hat.
The award-winning Tennessee WildCast is on the air with the latest on hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. Make welcome your host, drummer and outdoor expert novice, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee WildCast. We're glad you're tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We got some great shows lined up for you today. We're at Cumberland University this is the first show. While we're here, we'll learn more about the campus on the second show, but Matt helped line these up, even though he's a Region 4 guy. He snuck over here in Region 2, and we're doing some shows, but he had some great ideas, so here we are, and looking forward to it.
Yeah. Our guest today, Sergeant Dustin Buttram, approached me about doing this show, and man, I'm stoked about it. It's about elk and elk hunting. We're right in the middle of the elk quota hunt application period, running out of time to apply, so we're going to mention that as well.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and mention it. The 28th is the deadline, February 28th, to apply for the elk quota draw, and it's bumped up this year and last year. People think, may have missed it last year because we moved the time period, but this gives people more time to prepare for the hunt. So apply a little bit earlier. You can prepare for the hunt in October. So
plenty of time to scout and make your way up there and take a look at the area that you want to hunt, instead of it being late in the year, you're running short on time and just going up there and hoping you run into one. Because this is, as you know, it's probably a once-in-a-lifetime deal here in Tennessee, and you want to have the best opportunity. 19
permits this year, 19 opportunities, 1 youth tag. So, yeah, get your name in the hat. So pause the show, go apply, and then come back and finish the show. It's going to be fun. Dustin's with us. He's brought this Euro mount in, which is very cool. It's taking up the whole table here in front of us. So this is a show you must watch if you're listening. But this is the actual animal that you helped guide. I should say guide. It wasn't a guide. It was just, hey, come help us with this hunt.
Sure.
Because you're used to hunting elk. You've hunted them before. You know kind of what's going on and how to elk hunt. So that was cool.
Yeah,
that you were able to help with that, and we get to share it on the show today and encourage people to apply. And that was a youth hunter you were helping.
That's correct, yeah.
So
16-year-old.
We'll dive into all that today. Dustin, thank you. Education and background. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you became an officer, and a little bit about, I think you may have been on a WildCast before. I know we went graveling before, but
done it a couple times actually. Yeah. But Dustin Buttram, been on with the agency since 2011. Went to school at Tennessee Tech, and of course, like everybody else, got the wildlife degree, and started out actually here in Wilson County.
That's right.
This is my original stomping grounds. So been here. I started here, stayed about 3 years, then transferred back home in District 31. So I live in Putnam County now.
Awesome. Cool. Awesome. And so some of your hobbies, we've kind of touched on them a little bit. You like to grapple and get out there, hunt, fish. What else do you love to do?
Yeah, just being outdoors in general, but the grappling, the hands-on activities, just I think both of y'all actually got to experience some of that on Watts Bar. I think it's been years ago.
Yeah,
Jason,
for me.
I think, it's been like about 10 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Matt, me, you, and Ricky Lyle went last year, I guess.
I believe it'd be 2 years,
2 years
this summer. Yes,
okay.
sir.
So we're going to get that fired back up again. But I discovered Western hunting probably, 14, 15 years ago. And that has pretty much took my passion over. It's an addictive place, just being in the mountains and, hunting a different class of animals. It's just, that's become just one of my absolute favorite things. I think I about drive my wife crazy because we go at least 1 week a year, maybe 2 weeks, and then the day I get back, I'm already planning next year's trip, and I think she gets kind of tired of hearing about it. But it's something different just to be a part of those hunts out there.
Well, that's something. I mean, you gotta prepare and prep and be in front of it. I know we were chatting before the show. There's a lot of steps to try to go out west. A lot of money sometimes to get those tags and get your name in the hat for those.
Yeah, it's for us the way we do it. It is a backcountry hunt. Everything we do, it's just no high fence, obviously, and it's not hunting from a vehicle. We usually backpack in somewhere between 4 and about 8 or 9 miles, and that's where we spend the week at. So it's a lot different. So it is a physical prep. It's a mental prep. It's a gear prep. There's so many steps to it. And the whole way here this morning, I was on the phone with Rusty Thompson, actually, and he hunts with us out there quite a bit. And we're talking about next year already, and it's looking at statistics, draw odds. There's a lot to it. And you can't, as you said, you can't just throw your name in the hat and say, hey, I want to go elk hunting tomorrow, or next week. So, but that's the part that's kind of fun about it. It's all the prep work.
Tell us where all you've been out west hunting elk.
So elk, mainly Colorado. I have guided some in the past in New Mexico. We hunt in Wyoming. I've not drawn elk tag up there yet, but those main 3 states are where we try to frequent every year.
And for somebody that's never hunted elk, I hope to get to someday. Like, where do you even start? Like, buying preference points, and how do you know where to go? It just seems overwhelming to me.
It is overwhelming, and you have to break it down by state and kind of where you want to go. Colorado has probably one of the most opportunities, more opportunities for hunters to go because they do have the over-the-counter tags for a lot of units. So you could elk hunt as a non-resident in Colorado every year, over-the-counter units. Now, they may not have giant class of bulls or a large number of those class of bulls, but there is opportunities out there. So that's the good thing about Colorado. So if we don't draw tags for a preferred state or preferred unit, we can always just back up hunt and do that over-the-counter hunt. Of course, more people, more pressure, it leads into all that. But I would say break it down to what you want to hunt, where you want to hunt, and then call that state. And then most of those state organizations, just like we do, they got people answering the phone that will help you plan that hunt, how to get there, what to expect, how many years, if you want to hunt this type of elk. So there's resources out there. You're going to have to dive in and do some research and do some reading.
Probably help to get with somebody that kind of knows the routine that would mentor you and help you get started out there.
That's a big thing, the gear and like the physical aspect. I get people every year, they're calling me, hey, what do I need? What's the couple of key pieces that you need? And it gets expensive. Good gear is expensive, and light gear is expensive, and all that comes into play. And then just the physical training regiment. So it seems like every year there's more and more people calling me just saying, hey, what do I need to be prepared for?
Yeah.
And I enjoy it. I love it. I love being able to get people fired up, ready to go do something new.
Well, let's compare it to deer hunting just for a second. To deer hunt, you can go grab the gun, go to the woods, kill your deer, and drag it back home without too much effort.
Pretty much need a pocket knife and a gun, right?
You can get away with that. And we have had elk hunters show up for our Tennessee elk hunts that really didn't know what they were getting into. And they get this thing on the ground, or even if it's not a massive bull like this 330-inch one here, an average elk's still going to be, 400 or 500 pounds probably. So
yeah, I'd say bulls, 5 up plus. Most of the ones that I've dealt with are in that 600 to 700 pound range. So it's a little more. It's a little more to handle. And one of the first times we ever killed one, we killed 2. I killed a cow and a bull. I killed a bull, and my friend killed a cow. And he just simple things. He said, "Hey, let's take a picture of them together." And I'm like, "Well, we can't move them. You can't just drag it over there." So it's simple concepts that we're so used to is it's just not possible there. And like the way we hunt them, there's not tractors to load them. You can't get your truck there, so it is all quartering them up, put them in a pack, and walking them out. And most of those units that we hunt out west are walk access only, or horseback. And so when you kill a bull at 5 miles, that's 5 miles back to the truck, 5 miles back. So that's 10-mile round trips, and generally it takes about 4 backpack loads to pack one out to get all the meat out. So
wow,
you can add, if you're by yourself, you're looking at close to 40 miles to get one bull out. So it's It's not easy. Sometimes I would question myself after I kill one. Why do I still do this?
It's all fun until you get it on the
Yes,
ground,
it
right?
is.
So I got a friend, West Trent, back home, and he and a friend go every year to Colorado and hunt. And they went, I bet you they went 4 or 5 times before they killed one. But they were that fired up about it and that, hell bent on success that they kept going till they finally got one. Talk about the success rate of this type of activity.
It's a lot of it's going to come down to how much effort you put in and how much preparation. How far can you get from the truck? I was very spoiled. My first trip, I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, I'll just be honest. I mean, I knew how to hunt, play the wind, just be a good sportsman. Got out there, snow hit first morning, and there was 0 snow in the forecast. So it snowed about 18 inches first night, and which was a blessing and a curse. Tough walking for sure. We get about 3.5 miles in, and we're just wore out. And we look down, and there's fresh tracks, which that was what the snow and was able for the first morning ever elk hunting killed a nice 6x6.
Wow.
And that does not happen every time by any means. That was a spoiled first trip.
I mean, because were you even prepared for snow at all? Did you? I mean, in your gear?
No, I didn't have the right clothes. I had good boots. Which is probably one of the best things I could tell somebody. That don't go cheap on boots. But other than that, no, we was not prepared. Our tents were collapsing, and our face just you'd wake up and the tent would be right there because all the snow. We just was not prepared for it. Didn't know what to prepare for, and it seems like every year, again, this year will probably be my roughly 15th trip, and it's every year I'm tweaking gear, buying better stuff for just being more prepared. But first few years we done really well. We killed some really good bulls for public land. We killed the next year killed a 300-inch bull, which again public land is really awesome. And then we've had those dry spells. We've went home with empty tags and empty coolers several years. And that's just a part of it.
Part of hunting, yeah.
I think I read some stats on the units we hunt. Non-residents have about an 8 or 9% success rate in some of those units. So it's not just because you buy a tag or get drawn that you're going to go kill it.
You came home with one the first time, though.
Oh, cool. Rather be lucky than good.
That's what my dad says. I don't know about that. Luck can change. Talk about eating tag soup.
The tag soup, plenty of it.
It's probably pretty bitter, isn't it?
The first couple of times I didn't kill, we used to drive a lot, and of course it's about a 24-hour drive to get to where we was going, and you got a lot of time to think on the way home. And that first time or two, I was kind of just sick to my stomach. It was a lot of money tied up, and then I started realizing, let's just say we got $1,000 in the tags and the fuel or whatever, and we spent a week sleeping at 10,000 feet under the stars in the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
how
That's pretty cool vacation.
It's a cool experience, So I go ahead and just when I apply for tags, it's a success already. As soon as we leave the house, hey, it's not many people get to do this. So
it's taken me 44 years to grasp that. I'm so dead set on being successful in whatever it is I'm doing. And if I go out and I don't have success, I feel like I failed. But I've realized you got to enjoy the hunt. You got to enjoy the trip because the killing or the catching part doesn't always happen.
It doesn't, and I thankfully got over that pretty quick. I guess that you didn't have I had no other option. It's either be mad all the way home or just say, that was an awesome experience.
Well, help me figure this out. Talk about some successes and some failures. Like looking back, man, if we had just done this differently, we probably would have had a bull on the ground. Any of those things come to mind?
Just slowing down. That was a big thing. I can think of several different times where we blew elk out. They're not always vocal, and so I can relate it better. You brought up deer hunting. It's deer hunting as far as the species, but it's turkey hunting.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's
a 700-pound turkey. I mean, that's what it is. So
that's a loud gobble.
It is a loud gobble. It's one of those that you feel it when you hit it, but or when you feel it when it hits you.
Yeah.
A couple of times, the wind's easy. For especially Western hunting, you do have those thermals that are rising and falling, so we don't have the swirls out there, so that part's not hard at all, and the walking part ain't hard for us. We train really hard to be prepared for that. So there's been times we'll hear a bugle, and it's like, boom, let's go. We got to get to that bugle, and we're moving, and you don't realize that was the elk one holler over, and next thing you know, you're standing in the middle of a group that you didn't anticipate. So slow down, and that would probably be my biggest mistake, is just trying to get there before somebody else gets there, or get there before they move, because those elk are generally you got about an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening to kill them. They're going from bedding, they're feeding all night. So they'll come over most of the time that they bat on the north side of the mountains where the dark timber is. So about an hour before dark, hour and a half before dark, they're coming over to feed. They'll feed all night. Then about an hour after daylight, they're going back over. And when I say, it's not like they're just jumping one hillside. I mean, these elk are moving miles, and they can cover it really fast. So we're always trying to get that window. So if you hear one or see one, you better be trying to get it done during that time. But it's bit me a few times.
Wow. Well, if you're just joining us, we're here with Sergeant Dustin Buttram. He's telling us about some of his elk hunting experiences. The main reason we pulled this show together was to encourage people to apply for the elk hunt. The elk application period is open right now through February 28th. It's one important thing we want to talk about is the youth hunt, because he got to help a friend of his help his daughter, get her first elk here in Tennessee. So if you're a youth and want to apply, it's what, 13 to 16, right, Matt?
Correct. You have to be at least 13 on or before October 12th, and you cannot have turned 17 on or before that date.
Okay.
To apply for the youth tag.
And to apply for one of the general quota hunts, you have to be at least 16 years of age or older. You can't put in for both. You have to put in for either or if you're 16. So, and like you said, you can't turn 17 before that date. But just go to our website, tnwildlife.org. The press release is there. The information is there. And as always, go outdoorstennessee.com to apply. But let's jump into the story. Tell us about how you introduced us to your friend,
Sure.
His daughter, and the story of taking this bull.
Massive.
Yep. So Abby Binkley is the one who drew this tag, and
Yeah.
her dad, Brandon Binkley, which I know him as Binks.
Yeah.
He's when I met him, actually, I was elk hunting. I was a guide in New Mexico, and him and some colleagues were there, and we hit it off. Just got to form a great friendship.
Right.
And, so I hunted with him there, and just had a ball with him. And a couple years later, he calls me up. And I started seeing him a lot. He fishes the Caney a lot, and I'd see him down there, and just started getting to be, true friends, not just a client. And
Building those friendships.
yeah, absolutely. So he calls me up one day and says, "Hey, let's go to Colorado. I'd like to go with you, and let's do a non-outfitted hunt." And I said, "Absolutely, come on." And so he did. He came out with me and Wyatt Thatcher, a good friend that actually joined us on this hunt, and he rented his horses, and man, we spent again another week in the mountains on horseback, and I thankfully I killed a 5x5 that trip, and unfortunately Binks did not kill. So fast forward a few more years till I guess it's probably last summer, I get a phone call from him, and he says, "Man, you're not going to believe this. My daughter drew the Tennessee elk youth tag." And I was like, "You've got to be kidding me. That's awesome."
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, and I just think it'd be so cool. You took me on my first elk hunt. You're the only person I ever elk hunted with. What do you think about going with us to Tennessee and elk hunt?" I said, "Man, I'm in 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't got to persuade me." I was tickled to death. So that's kind of how it got fired up, and so it was a learning experience for me, and I was blown away by the experience. I'll go ahead and tell you, it was phenomenal. Made some trips up there, scouted, and instantly Brandon Marlowe, the manager up there, got with him, and he was showing me just the area and some of the sign. And I've been around elk hunting enough that the sign I'm seeing is big elk. I mean, we're talking trees just completely tore to pieces, and not just here and there. I mean, we're on some hot spots, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling confident.
That's awesome.
And he's showing me trail camera footage, and didn't have this bull here on there, but had some similar sized bulls. So I'm more. I think at this point I'm probably more fired up than Abby is. I'm just tickled to death. I'm like, you're gonna have a fun hunt. So fast forward, opening or the week of, we get settled up the night before, and can't even hardly sleep at night. We camp there on the WMA.
Oh wow!
And
Awesome.
just made it a real experience for her. And I'll say Abby, she's has a background of hunting, but obviously never elk hunted, so she is fired up. And the whole family was just awesome to deal with. Again, great friends. And one thing Binks kept saying was, and again, White Thatcher was there with us, and Ray Howell too, is a guy that works with Binks. We're all there, and Binks just kept saying, "Guys, this ain't her hunt. This is our hunt. This is our hunt." And I'm like, "No, man, it's her hunt. It's her tag." And he's like, "No, this is going to be a fun experience for all of us. So it's not just what she wants to do. It's not what I want to do." And so that was just how the hunt started. It was just a laid back
A group of guys, a group of friends, and his daughter just enjoying the hunt.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we knew where we wanted to start opening morning. And again, think turkey hunting. Go out, find a place that you can hear a long ways before daylight. So that's what we're doing. We're set up and just kind of hanging out, talking. And sure enough, 20 minutes before legal shooting light, the bull starts screaming. And it's kind of similar with turkeys too. You can hear what sounds like a Jake gobbling versus a mature Tom gobbling. Same thing with elk. You'll hear some young bulls, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's good. We don't want to focus on that. There sounds one a little more mature, a little deeper, and then this guy fired off, and I'm like, that's our bull. That's what we're here to hunt. And just that deep growl, instantly just knew this is who we're after here.
At this point, have you called at all?
No,
Okay.
we've not
Just
even,
listening.
Just listening.
So could there have been a mistake made that you started calling right then, trying to get him to come to you? Or do you
Probably
like
so.
turkeys?
Yeah,
You don't want to call too early.
You don't want to call too early because he could have been right in our lap. And when he started bugling, probably within 400 yards, 500 yards. I mean, it was close. It was. Wow. We were set up in the place we needed to. So there's no road. We walk in and we're trying to get up to him. Again, we're trying not to get there. It's daylight. It's legal shooting light, but it's real cloudy. So you know how it is in the woods. It's dark. I mean, you could legally shoot him, but I don't know that you could see to shoot him. So we're taking our time, and there's a little bit of a hump, and there's a lot of weeds on this hump, and I'm in front, and Abby's right behind me, and trying to slip up here so we can make sure we don't bump anything. Again, I've learned my lesson: slow down. And I turn and look at Wyatt. He's behind Binks, so he's about 4 deep. We're all in single file line. And he said, kind of tapped his ear. You hear that? And I said, yeah. I'm trying to figure out what this noise is. And I hear it again. And I'm like, it's close. And I tell everybody to squat down. And here's our first bull. I mean, we're at 3 minutes into it. And within less than 20 yards, I see antlers tearing a tree to pieces.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, wow, this is fast. Yeah. And I can see the look in Abby's eyes. I mean, she's like, this is happening already, And to the point I lean over, I'm like, is that something you want to harvest? I mean, it's that close.
Bang.
Yeah.
I'd have killed it, man.
And it was a 4x5. It was a very respectable bull.
Yeah.
It was definitely not a mature age class. It was probably, a 2 or 3 year old bull. But in your face experience. And again, I'm comparing all this to out west, where you don't always have that. You may not even see an elk all week, or if you do, it may be 200 yards off. It may be crossing 700 yards off or a mile off. So here it is, first 10 minutes and got a bull within bow range, and again, this is a gun hunt. So
Wow, yeah.
So this bull goes on, and she says, this, I'm going to wait. I'm like, okay, no problem. Don't blame me a bit. I don't make it 5 steps further. Like legit 5 steps, and gaining just a little bit of elevation, and I look out and I see this bull standing out there.
This one right.
This right here. And the first thing that hit me, and again, it's still dark. I mean, it's still, again, within just a couple minutes of legal light, I can't get over the body size. And again, I've skinned elk. I don't know how many elk I've skinned and quartered up, and I instantly see, I'm like, this thing is huge. I mean, it's such a big body animal. Not counting the antlers sticking out. And he's about 110 yards. And I told Abby I was not going to tell her what to shoot. When we were prepping for the hunt, I said, hey, true hunt, I'm not going to tell you. When I saw this bull, I said, you need to shoot this bull.
Yeah, this is it.
This is the one you need to be looking at. And just the way it happened, it was going away. And it was, again, you got that short period of time to kill these elk before they go back to bed. And that's what this elk was already doing. He was an old, mature bull. He's fed out all night out there, and he was heading for cover. And so I tried to get her to shoot it, and her height difference, she could not get over the weeds that were in front of us. Every time she tried to see it, she was too low. So we're okay. We're in just game mode here. It's time.
Oh, yeah.
We need to be moving. So again, turkey hunting, we know this elk's going away. So we pull a big circle, make a big loop, and get out in front of it. And I'm not super familiar with this country, so I'm looking through the maps as we're walking and calling, and he's responding, he's bugling. I mean, he's doing everything he needs to be doing. And looking at the map, looks like an old road going up the backside where he's going. So I'm like, okay, let's go hit that old road. Well, the old road was very grown up, and so I tell Wyatt, I said, hey, as we're walking, you just call. Cover our noise up, make it sound like there's a herd of elk coming. And he does just that. He does perfect. And so me and Abby's going up through, and it's just thick briars, privet, just way thicker than what I thought it was going to be. So we get up there, and I'm calling at the same time, and next thing I know, I hear him coming in. This time he gets within 20 yards of this bull. He can't get to us. I see him leaning his head, trying to get through all the brush to get to us because we're cow calling and bugling at the same time. So he thinks somebody's in his territory taking his cows. Abby's behind me, and at one point I see it. All I can see is his face. I mean, that's how close this elk is, and again, giant animal. I mean, it's a little bit intimidating. And I look at her and I said, get ready. It's so thick, I don't know if you can shoot. And I can see the look in her eyes. She had that, I'm nervous, like excited but nervous. I mean, it's a big animal close. Long story short, we couldn't get it. It was just too thick. Couldn't get it done. So he goes on. I think he catches our wind a little bit. So we're like still in hunting mode. We're kind of following. And next thing we know, I come over looking across the holler, and she's behind me. And instantly Ray says, hey, there's a bull out there. And we're looking, I think it was just shy of 300 yards. There's 3 more bulls. So here we are in the first, let's say less than 20 minutes of the hunt. This is our 5th bull in Tennessee that we're on. I mean, that does not happen all the time. I mean, this is phenomenal. And that's one thing that I really took away from this hunt was, I ain't even saw a cow yet. I mean, we're looking at 5 bulls that are all killable and all worthy of killing. I mean, they're not just scrubs. I mean, I think the smallest one was like a 3x3 all the way up to the, a couple 6x6s. Mm-hmm. And that was just such a cool experience for me. And for everybody there, it's just like, wow, we're into this hunt. I mean, it's on steroids. I mean, this is awesome. Yeah. And didn't get it done that morning. Just missed opportunities that were just out of our hands. Just the weeds, just it's still dark.
Still got to hunt them.
But could not ask for first day of her elk hunting experience to have that many opportunities that close in your face. Just awesome.
Yeah.
So
fast forward. Sorry, time limit's coming up.
No, sorry. So the next morning, we didn't get done that evening. Next morning, we go back to the same place, and the bull was within 100 yards of where he was the morning before. And I'm just so proud of Abby. She gets it done. Wyatt calls the bull in from about 40 yards behind us. The bull walks out, gives her about a 75, 80-yard shot. One shot. Abby does phenomenal. Bull goes down.
Awesome.
And then the work starts, though. The work starts.
I think it's cool about the calling, how you're sneaking through all that brush. You like call, so it sounds like it's a herd coming, and you're calling from down the hill where it's bringing him in. That's cool. Yeah.
It was a great experience, and to have this quality of elk in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just a phenomenal experience to be right in our backyard.
And the odds are great.
I think they were talking about, around 90% of the tag holders harvested bulls in Tennessee. That's way better odds than what you'll see out in the Western Mountains.
It's weather dependent. If the weather's good, then the success seems to be really good.
Yes, absolutely.
Tennessee. So don't sleep on this, folks. It's time to apply.
Yeah, so the deadline is the 28th. Get your name in the hat, February 28th. There's 19 opportunities this year, including the one youth tag. So thanks for sharing the stories.
Absolutely, guys.
It's been fun. Thanks for bringing this in so we could see it. And get out there and do it. Get out there and chase them. This is Tennessee WildCast. Thanks for tuning in. Keep coming back, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, it's all about Tennessee wildlife. It's what we do. Tennessee WildCast will be on the air again next week. We'll see you then.